friends and fellow devotees of the Lord. It is such a joy to be in your midst this evening. I feel grateful to everyone. We are met together at a question answer meeting. Whenever I have to attend a question answer meeting, I feel as though I'm going to examination hall. But so far, by God's grace, I have got distinction every. I don't know what will be the result today, but let me tell you that the distinction does not belong to it belongs to the Lord. It is He who inspires. It is He who pours wisdom into you. I often say we are like a bulb. The bulb will not give you light until electricity passes through it. There was a bungalow I visited. It had 30 bedrooms. But all the 30 bedrooms were in the dark. And I asked them, what is the reason? They said the reason that the electric supply corporation is not yet prepared to give us a connection. I learned that lesson that we all need to learn. We need connection. If I were asked to give you my message in 2 words, those 2 words would be stay connected. Stay connected. Stay connected. If you are not connected, you are like animals straying in the streets. Stay connected. But I must not take more of your time. I will request Brother to be kind to you.
Thank you, Dada. We will do our best to ask you some difficult questions, Dada. Happy evening, friends. How many of us have seen an elephant? Can you put your hand up? Sometimes in the TV channels, when we see an elephant in one of those wildlife channels, you see this beautiful, gentle giant. And sometimes you see a little bird standing on its shoulder. And as the elephant is walking, the bird is enjoying the ride and feeling very majestic. And this evening, I am feeling like that little bird. Feeling very, very majestic. So thank you, Dada.
I thought it was the other one. So let us this evening try to be, both of us, 2 little birds.
Dada, you look like such a handsome young man, doesn't he? Dada, can you please tell us what is the secret of your youth? How do you stay so young, Dada?
I always think of myself as a child of a mother divine, and whosoever becomes a child of the mother divine never grows in years. He grows in wisdom, he grows in compassion, he grows in truth, he grows in the other values of life, but he does not grow in years. I am reminded of a joke I read some years ago. It was the wife's birthday, but the husband did not remember it. The wife waited from the early morning till late in the night. The husband did not bring a trinket or some little present for the wife. And at night she burst into tears. She said, "It has been my birthday, but you have not mentioned it at all." But the husband was a wise man. He told his wife, "How can I tell you it is your birthday? You look the same you looked a year ago. You, you don't seem to have grown a year." And this literally happens to the person who surrenders. I'm learning the lesson of surrender. And I want you, some of you at least, to come with me. Together we will march on the path of surrender. And we will remain young all the time that we are here on the earth plane.
Thank you for telling me that story, Dada. It sounds like the story of me and my wife. As I was doing a little bit of research for this evening, I spoke to one of my dear friends who has been connected with you, Dada, for many years. And she told me that Dada always says that think of God as your relative. Think of God as your mother, think of God as your father, your brother, or even think of God as your best friend. And in your heart, talk to God and relate with God. And for the last few days, Dada, I have been experimenting with it. And in my mind, I've been saying, Dada, why don't you please come inside me and ask yourself whatever questions you want to answer for tonight? Dada, a question that lingers on all our mind is what is God? Who is God?
The answer is you are God. You have to pass through this stage of humanity to realize what you are. You are God. For there is nothing but God in this universe. This whole universe is God filled. This is a fact which we have forgotten. You have become human being. One of the purpose be that you realize that you are God. You are carriers of God now, but a stage comes as you move on the pathway. A stage comes when you realize that you are God. This is the place where you have the physical heart in line with it. At the center is the spiritual heart. And in the spiritual heart here, there is a cave. And then inside the cave, there is God. But that God is asleep. You have to wake him up. Jago, Jago. That is why you hear those words in the songs and sermons of those who have attained. That is first. The first step is Jago, awake. We are not awake, we are asleep. We are dreaming. As you see lots of dreams, and while you are seeing the dream, you are regarding it as real. There was a man, he worked as a carpenter. He worked during the day, but after his noon meals, he took a little rest, siesta. Once in that siesta, he sees a dream, and in the dream, he sees that he is the king. The carpenter thinks he is the king. He has 7 sons, and his 7 sons are accomplished swimmers. They go out to swim, but a huge wave comes and takes them off, and their bodies cannot be found. This is what he sees in the dream. His wife comes and wakes him. He had an only son, 4 years old. The wife says to her, "Your son has been bitten by a snake. He has died, and you are still asleep." But this man says, "I do not know if I am the dreamer with one son, or whether I am that man who was in the dream, who was a king, who had 7 sons, and all his sons have been lost. For whom shall I grieve? For that one son, 4 years old, or for those 7 sons who were accomplished swimmers?" So all this is a dream. It is in the dream that I am talking to you. If I make a mistake, please feel that it is made in a dream.
Thank you, Dada. Dada, when you were young in age, you were a brilliant student and you had many double promotions. And as you were doing your MSc studies, one day in one of your stories in your book, I read, Dada, that your master, Sadhu Vaswani, came to visit you. And you were looking through a telescope, Dada. And you wanted to show him the beautiful sight of the stars and the constellations in the sky. And both of you looked at it and were amazed in wonder. And then, Dada, you say that your master, Sadhu Vaswani, just blew some steam on the telescope.
Breath.
He blew some breath on the lens and then he asked you to look at the stars again. And then, of course, you could not see anything. And then he said that just like a thin film of water vapor can cloud the beautiful view of the stars, a little bit of ego and pride can cloud our view. So, Dada, we would like to ask you, what is this ego?
This ego is not. This ego is only a shadow. Even as the shadow appears to be, the ego also appears to be. Actually, the ego has no real existence. But we are under the influence of the ego. Most of us, we are egoistic men and women. We do what our egos tell us to do.
So, Dada, is this ego what stops us from having the connection, like you said in the beginning, that
Yes,
stay connected?
yes, yes.
So, how do we break that, Dada? How do we stay connected? Like you said, what do I have to do to be connected?
One thing which I must do every day is to spare some time to sit in silence. We can begin with half an hour and increase it. Before we are able to see something, we should be able to sit in silence and concentration for 3 hours. This happens through practice. Sadhu Vaswani said, religion, let us talk of it less, practice more. It is on the practice side that we have failed. Very few actually sit in silence. We feel happy when we are in the midst of noise. Therefore, we love to go to hotels, to discos, to dances. May I tell you, I sometimes refer to a disco, but I really don't know what a disco is. Up to my master's, I had seen only one picture which was arranged by the school. We had to pay only 400. The picture of Ben, that was the only picture that I had seen until I did my master's. We have to live a life of discipline. We give so many years to get a degree, but we are not prepared to give time for acquiring this knowledge, which is true knowledge, which is true wisdom, which accompanies us even while the body drops down.
Dada, this evening is about gratitude. Dada, can you please explain to us what actually is gratitude?
Gratitude is an attitude. You have to adopt that attitude. There are people, their life is built in gratitude. Sadhu Vaswani was one such man. One day we asked him, when difficulties come your way, what do you do? His answer was, I praise the Lord. Then we asked him, when you fall ill and your body is in pain, we have seen that you suffer from rheumatic pain, terrible pain he used to get. What do you do? He said, I still praise that. What do you do when you are passing through difficult patch of your life? I still praise the Lord. Praise the Lord if you wish to arrive at this point, but we don't praise the Lord. Some little thing happens, we say, why did this thing happen to me? I did not do any wrong. Why had it happened to me? That is not praising. When I'm passing through difficult patch of life, I should say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Sister said when she woke up in the morning, she thanked the Lord. But what do you do when food is placed before you? Do you thank the Lord? There's a very simple prayer which we offer when we eat, before we eat our food. I would wish to pass it on to you today in the hope that you too will offer this prayer when you eat your food. Thank you, God, for the food I eat. Thank you, God, for the friends I meet. Thank you, God, for the songs I sing. Thank you, God, for everything. It's a very simple, it doesn't take time. It doesn't take more than half a minute. But you can easily do this 5 times a day. Once when you get up in the morning, second time when you take breakfast, third time when you take lunch, fourth time when you take dinner, fifth time when you're about to slip into sleep. The times are six. Six. All you have to do is to pray. Did you remember that prayer? Thank you, God. Alright.
Thank you, Dada.
Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you for permitting me today to sit by the side of this great man. Thank you, God. Thank you at every stage, every moment of your life. Sadhu Vaswani gave us a prayer in our Sindhi language. Shukra hai, Shukr Singh. Shukr means thank you, God. Gratitude to you. Vava Jat Vihari, Fazl Nuri Nihari, Shukr hai, Shukr. This Shukr should come out of the very depths of our heart. This will build up the connection between you and the highest. We have to build those connections. We are now building connections with the world. A girl came 4 days ago. She said, Lex, 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 is that the name of the car? She said, they are bringing out a new model. How I wish I had that model. We want new models of cars. We want new bungalows. We want new conveniences. We forget that this earth is a school. We have come to learn some lessons. Our stay here is brief, is for a while. The son of today may become a father of tomorrow. We live in such a where the sons are sending their parents to jails. Just imagine. Perhaps due to certain involvement they entered into in some earlier birth. This is what they are doing. I am holding the watch, but I have not looked at it even once. I looked at it just and I found it was 8:15. This meeting was to be over at 8 o'clock. But he made it so interesting that we lost track of time.
Thank you so much, Dada, for sharing your energy, for sharing yourself with us. Thank you so much, friends, for being here tonight for the beginning of this Thanksgiving week. As I've been thinking about Dada and reading about Dada stories, one little story that really struck a chord with me was when Dada shared that one mantra that he keeps in his heart and that has helped him really do a lot of changes in himself. And I've been practicing this. Dada just said that simple mantra is yes, Father, yes, Father, yes, yes, yes. Yes, this too was meant for me. Whatever that happens in my life, it is actually meant to happen and it is meant for me. It has come to me for a reason and I need to learn something from that and I have a lot of gratitude for that. So, my dear friends, I invite all of you now to just close our eyes for a few minutes and in the presence of Dada, let's just repeat this mantra in our own mind, which is yes, Father, yes, Father, yes, yes, yes. This too is meant for me.
I, I need this blessing. There was a holy man, of him it is said that he had those words on his lips all the time. Yes, Father, yes, and always yes. In the 16th century appeared a great mystic master. What was his name? Master
Ekar.
Ekar. He said, if in all your life you have offered this one prayer, thank you, God, your coming to this earth plane will not be in me. As I was thinking of this, my hand moved. It wrote a poem which I will read out before leaving. Thank you, God, for sun and rain. Thank you, God, for pleasure, pain. Thank you, God, for loss and gain. Thank you, God, for day and night. Thank you, God, for dark and bright. Thank you, God, for praise and display. Thank you, God, for nights and day. Thank you, God, for everywhere and always. Thank you, God. Say with me, thank you, God, 5
Thank you,
times,
God.
and then we break this meeting. Thank you, God. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
God.
God.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
God.
God.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
God.
God.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
God.
God.
not much response.
Thank you, Dada. Let's see some emoticons.
Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God.
Thank you,
God.
God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God.
This simple formula, thank you, God, has healed. I didn't have the time to refer to the healing that takes place when you thank. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Oh, Brahma Kripa Kevalam, Krishna Kripa Kevalam, Guru Kripa Kevalam. Oh, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.